Okay. Kalimera from Athens, Greece. It's May 23rd of 2023. I'm here with my friend Alberto Guarini, a colleague, therapist, a psychodrama therapist. I'm a regression therapist. And I wanted to share with you what we know about modern psychotherapy. We believe strongly now, we have a lot of evidence that modern psychotherapy has actually started here in Greece. At least here, probably in Egypt, Babylon, but we certainly have a lot of evidence that psychotherapy initiated itself here in Greece in the Asclepians. Asclepios was the god of medicine, as you may have heard, and you have seen many of his depictions in pharmacies and other places. He was a god of of medicine. His two sons participated in the Iliad, Homer's Iliad, during the Trojan War. And they were the two doctors of the Greek army when they invaded Troy. So, it's semi-history, semi-myth. That's not the story. The story is the process. What interests us today is how complicated, how sophisticated, how important that process was of healing, of reaching the utmost healing. And here is what was happening. When people had some problem, either a physical or a psychological, they didn't have any other solution but to resort to the Asclepians. The Asclepians were actually places, temples throughout the Greek world, the ancient Greek world, where people could go there and try to solve their problem. But to go there, they had to follow a process. That process required prerequisites. In other words, they had to fast. They had to abstain from toxic behavior. They had to be, self-inspecting, self-introspecting. And then they had to walk all the way to the Asclepians. Sometimes they had to even walk for 100 miles, to 100 kilometers to reach an Asclepian. We know of 320 Asclepians in the greater Greece anyhow. So once they arrived, they were places of supreme beauty, like the place you see around us right here, of supreme beauty, of water running around the place, of majestic beauty, because beauty, natural beauty, soothes the soul. There is always in Asclepians, there was always a theater next to it. Why a theater? Because patients had to attend the tragedies, see through the eyes of other people what was happening in the drama that was taking place in the theater. So it was not only me that I have a problem, it's also my neighbor that has a problem and my other neighbor next door that has a problem, not only me. So they had to take their baths, they were doing massage, they also had a gymnasium next to the theater, so they would also exercise strongly. And after this, they would arrive outside of the temple and they would sacrifice a rooster, a cock. They would sacrifice it for the god of Asclepios. Actually, what was done, the rooster was taken by the staff and was eaten by the people who were working into the premises of the sanctuary. So then, the patient had to talk with the priest. Then the doctor and the priest were one and the same thing. Priest was the doctor, the physician. And the physician was wearing a white robe. He was wearing a white robe. And that's why today all doctors all over the world wear white robes, because the priests and Asclepios were wearing white clothes. Then they would converse, an interview with the priest and the patient. What is your problem? What's happening to you? Oh, I have a pain here, I have a pain there. Go for surgery. They had a special surgery room. If you go to Epidavros, you will see the surgery tools they had back in ancient Greece are identical with the ones the modern hospitals are using today. Exact copies. If you go to Epidavros in the museum, you will see them all there. They are there. So now, these are the people who go for surgery, but we are interested in the other people who have a psychological problem. So, what would we do with him? Okay, you have to cleanse yourself again, wash up, throw your clothes away, put a new white robe, and then you are taken through the long corridor, dark corridor, full of snakes. But the snakes were good snakes, not bad snakes, no vipers.
Yeah.
Connected good snakes, but you don't know. The patient doesn't know that. So the patient walks in darkness and steps on the snakes. And what happens when you step on the snake? Your brain closes down and you work only with the basic brain, the reptilian brain. Now it's either attack or run away. There is no other solution. So they kept walking on in the darkness, and as they walked in the darkness, they arrived in a tholos. Tholos was a round structure. If you go to Pergamos in Turkey now, you will see the most beautiful structure of Tholos, which is amazing. And there they would be moving in rings, round and round, in total darkness, with snakes underneath. And they were totally scared. Then the helpers of the priests would take them like this, wrap them with a sheet, white sheet, make them like a mummy, an Egyptian mummy, like this, and put them on the cleanest. They would put them on the cleanest like this. They were tied like this, and they would lie down. And these were the cleanest. That's where the word clinic comes from. You say clinic in a hospital, that's why you say it, because people lay down like this, and they were in total darkness. And then they were supposed to see a dream, honor was called, which would solve their problem, an honor that would come as an inspiration from God that would give a specific problem to Alberto, a specific solution to Nassos, a specific solution to Eleni. Everybody would have a specific solution, a different for the same thing. Not Xanax, not Zoloft, no Lopresor, not the same thing for everyone. So, as they lay down, they were expected to see that dream that would come from God. And usually, the healing was spectacular. They think that Christ did less miracles than Asclepios has done. In other words, thousands of people paralyzed, blind, deaf, heard again, saw again, walked again. We have thousands of testimonies in the Asclepiums all around the greater Greek area of spectacular healings. So they believed in the self-healing capacities of each organism, but they made a whole show preparing the patient to come into face himself and his darkness and That's why Carl Jung, saw this darkness. He knew that Asclepions did the most deep psychotherapy ever recorded in history.
Yes.
Thank you.